So I'm like, oh boy, I'm an American in Europe, my country's being invaded, and then now the US is invading Iraq. So I was also then started having an identity crisis, like who am I? And am I American? Am I an Iraqi? And you know, in Europe at that time, America, and probably even today, America wasn't that favored for what they do internationally. Obviously, we're here in Berkeley, we can understand that. If I was in Cleveland, I might not say that. Um, but I just all of a sudden got this calling. I said, I'm going. I'm going to see my natives. You know, I speak Arabic, but I'm not fluent reading and writing. I'm dyslexic when it comes to reading and writing Arabic. But our parents kept us learning that language while we were kids, luckily. Even though I was always embarrassed when she'd say it in front of kids in school, shh, don't talk to me in Arabic. You know, but she did, which was great. But at any rate, so I went, and I was going to the area near Iraq, Iran, and Turkey, where the Kurds were fleeing from Saddam. I don't know if you guys remember during the 1991 when Saddam invaded Kuwait, and then Bush Sr. came and got them about 100 miles to Baghdad. All the Iraqis thought they were liberated from Saddam. Bush turns around, Iraqis get massacred by Saddam. So I go during that time, 21 years old, don't know what I'm doing. My parents think I'm crazy. I'm like, I'm going to be a photojournalist. I'm going to make this happen. And so it's a journey to get there. I'm all the way in the eastern Turkey, get on all kinds of buses. Then there's a truck leaving at 5 in the morning to take food to this camp, which is a 7-8 hour drive, but it had rained all night and the roads are dirt. We almost died at least 10 times. I mean, double, triple rainbows, 10,000-foot mountains. I'm just like, wow, where am I? What am I doing here? Am I going to actually survive? We finally get to this small village in Turkey. You got to walk around 10 miles to get to the border of Iraq, and that's where there's a refugee camp. One of the camps that were there. There were dozens back then around those borders of Iraq and Iran. So I get to the camp, still not knowing what I'm doing, but I had my whole photo gear. I've already collected a couple lenses by then, another camera body. I brought my film camera, my audio recording. I had a whole. I felt like I was happening. You know, Associated Press, here I come. I really felt like this was my calling. And, you know, it was really hard to see it, but a couple images, you know, just at some of the camps at that time. There was about 30,000 people at that camp. Within 3 hours of being in that camp, 2 gentlemen come up to me and said, you need to come with me. I'm like, okay, whatever you say. They take me up to the top of the hill where there's a big camp where sort of the headquarters of the Kurds are. And within 2 minutes, they say, let's see your passport. Maybe 20 seconds. That passport goes from here to the corner. They throw it, and I'm like, okay, I am here. Nobody knows where I am. It's in the middle of nowhere in the 15,000-foot mountains of Kurdistan. I start shivering. I don't know what to do. I just listen to them. They ask me questions. They speak mostly in Kurdish, so I can't understand the word they're saying. They speak some Arabic. I mean, they mix it up. They obviously didn't want me to understand. And the passport's there. I'm like, how am I going to get that passport back? Thinking like some James Bond movie. Like, what am I going to do now? And I'm not doing anything. So they say, we're going. Come with us. So we go, and we start walking deep into the valley. And during those 3 hours I was there photographing and meeting some of the families, they were saying, don't go into the valleys, because that's where some bad things happen, and don't go up in the hills, because that's where there's still mines. So just stay around with us. So they're taking me deep into the valley, and I'm freaking out. What are they doing? Why am I going? I see a soldier, an American soldier. By then there was some Dutch there was some Germans, and there was some Americans. So I go to the American soldier, he's standing, I go to him right close, he's got a big shotgun, and I point, I say, these guys behind me are taking me to the valley. They think I'm an Iraqi spy. Saddam used to have spies all over the world then. They think I'm a spy, they're going to take me to the valley, and they're going to kill me. Please take me with you now. So the American soldier, and I'm kind of a little anti-American at this time, cocks his gun, which guys? I'm like, no, just take me with you. I was sweating, I probably peed in my pants and I didn't even know it. And I just take me, and I'm frustrated, and he goes in his southern twang, well, son, you can give me your passport number, and I'll make sure I get it to the American embassy. I'm defeated, deflated. I just say, okay, I'm going to go with my destiny. Wherever these guys want to take me, I'm gone. I start thinking poems in my head, singing songs to my mom and dad. Whatever. 21 years old. What do you think? I don't know what to think. I put myself in this situation when they asked me not to. So we go deeper into the valley. All of a sudden, another 3, 4 guys come. Now there's like 8 guys on my left and right taking me down in the valley. I'm like, okay, they mean serious business. This is no joke. And we go down deep, deep into the valley. There's not really any more tents left over. Got my camera bags. Heavy, it's hot. It's already April, so the heat is coming already in the mountains up there. We go to a big tent. All of a sudden, 6 guys flurry out, and we go in. Within 5 seconds, 6 guns to my head. What are you doing here? I'm here because I want to share your story to the rest of the world. 2 hours interrogation. They think I'm lying. I get sometimes they mix some Arabic. Oh, this guy's pretending to be an artist, photographer, filmmaker in Paris. I had a business card. They didn't believe it. So 2-3 hours of interrogation, I cry and I cry and I cry. That's all I could do. I thought my destiny was over. I thought my life was right in front of me. So after the 3 hours, they all leave. I'm kind of alone. There's still guns around me. I feel it. I felt the coldness right on my forehead. It was scary. So these guys come back, and the head of the camp, the whole head of the camp said, you're coming with me, and you're going to my camp. So I'm like, okay. Don't know where I'm going, but I have no choice. So we go back into the camps, and I spend the next 3-4 days with him and his family. It's in the middle of everything. I'm feeling so much more relaxed, even though I'm nervous as hell. Are they going to just change their mind? He did tell me 3 days before I got there, a 16-year-old girl was a spy, trying to poison the whole water system they set up. So you just never know. And their fear is really high elevated. So after 3-4 days, I'm scared. I was supposed to stay 10 days. My brother was supposed to come from London and meet me. I'm getting out of there. I hook up with Doctors Without Borders, the French organization. I say, please get me out of here. I'm too nervous. I don't think I'm going to make it. So they smuggle me out early in the morning, go back up to Turkey. There was a whole other incidence of things that almost was scary too, but they get me back up to Turkey. It takes me 2-3 days to get across Turkey, then back to Paris. And throughout that time in Paris, I end up living in Europe another 7-8 years, mostly as a filmmaker, a photographer, living a really nice life. I ended up opening up a couple of tea houses in Prague and learning all about tea. Bought a farm, had a great time, and it was definitely an extreme. So fast forward, my sister and I, she's living in Oakland getting her master's in arts here. She says, come to Oakland, we're going to start this tea company based on this dry desert lime we drink as kids in our home country of Iraq. In every culture you have a drink of hospitality. You got green tea in China, yerba mate in South America, Coca-Cola in the US. And in Iraq we have this dried lime. It's called Numi. That's what it's named. Numi means citrus. So we're going to launch this lime and bring it to the United States. Great. We've always talked about it in our family. So the calling was real. It felt right. And so I bring a lot of photographs with me, some of the ones I shared with you. And I bring this one photograph that I took with my sister back in the 90s when we happened to be in Morocco. I left from Paris to meet my family. And this picture is then what my sister painted, the first painting she made that became the whole look and feel of Numi. If you guys remember our packaging with the paintings, my sister made all those. This was a look and feel. This became Numi. And then I got all my photographs. Oh, paint this, paint that, paint this. We got really excited. And the whole look and feel and the branding happened really quick. We're not business people, we're artists. But we decided to start a business. So within a year in living in Oakland, my sister and I go out to dinner for an hour and a half. I come home, my house is robbed, $50,000, $60,000 of photo equipment, all stolen. I brought everything, all the lenses and cameras and all that I got over the 15 years traveling the world. And in Prague back then, you can get great stuff. Everything gone. Police come. It was heartbreaking. Called my girlfriend in Prague. I was like, you won't believe it. It's 9 in the morning her time. It's midnight my time. I tell her everything got stolen. I got police here. And I shuffle around. I'm just like, God, I can't believe it. But the funny thing is, and one camera that my dad didn't give me, but that I found that my dad got in 1971 from Japan was not taken. You could see it's beaten up. It weighs like 10 pounds. So this camera stayed, and it was the only thing from all that I collected over the years. All these photographs I showed you are all taken from this camera. Even when I had these beautiful cameras for fashion or for photojournalism, I still always turned to this one when it came to what life is about. What really meant something to me. And maybe I'll take a quick picture of you guys. You hear that sound? All right, got every room. So this camera stayed. It didn't go, and the lens is all beaten up. But it's got that life. It's got that thing that's connected me over the years. I've stayed on, and I kept doing photography. Not as much. Numi obviously consumed my life for a good 10, 12 years. But the last 2 years, I've been getting back into it. I got into the whole digital world. Got a digital camera. I got another one now. But I've been working on this series of lines in nature and how there are no straight lines in nature. We've created these straight lines and how we've lived in this weird world of dimensions and spaces and corners and angles. So when I fly everywhere around the world, because I fly so much, I always sit by the window and just take details of the earth and just see the ways that nature plays and lives and the ways in which we have created our own life. So for me, this story and Jay's request to talk about what connects us, this camera has really taught me so much about being responsible, about exploring the world, and really being clear with my intentions. Making a small little change every day. Thank you.